Can everybody hear me? Just let me know in the comments. So this is the first time I have done one of these, but basically I don't want to gatekeep information, and I've done a lot of things to make money online. So I want to be here to answer your questions about that. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself and how I got started and got to the point that I am at now. In the meantime, I'm going to ask you guys to let me know in the comments what you want talked about first, because I'm going to try to keep this to an hour. If we need to do it again, we can absolutely do that. So we can do audiobooks, we can do self-publishing, we can do content creation, we can do clothing selling. Let me know which one of those you are the most interested in, and that's where we'll start tonight. So again, that's audiobooks, self-publishing, clothing selling, and just general content creation. And Hannah, I'm going to ask you to just let me know as I get to the end of my speech what the numbers look like for that. So a little bit about me. I got started in online content creation primarily for my clothing selling business. When I got pregnant with my daughter, I was too sick to work. I was just too sick to work. And I'm not good at sitting still. So I had to stay home, but I wanted to do something. So I started selling clothing on Poshmark. And I realized that the more I treated that like a business, the more I got out of it as a business. I started to really invest in that. And then I started to also sell on Facebook, Mercari, Depop, eBay. And again, that grew as a business. So I invested more of my time in that. And I started on social media just to advertise clothing. I never showed my face. I never intended on being a social media person. I was purely doing it for business reasons, because today you have to have a presence online, right? You just have to, if you're a business. And once I started making memes about reselling, my channel shot up. And so then I started to show my face more. And my first series of viral videos was about stuff that you can find for free and sell for money on eBay. And not a lot of it was huge profits, but simple things like pine cones. If you live in an area with pine cones, you can sell them in bulk on eBay, because there are places that, like for Christmas, want to have those decorations. I met this really fascinating woman who lived next to a pumpkin patch, like a commercial place that you would take your kids to. And she said that every year she spends a month, she talked to the farmer and just said, can I come and cut off all the stalks of the pumpkins that you've already sold? And he was like, yeah, sure. What the hell? I don't care. So she, with her family, goes through, spends an entire month cutting off all the stems, drying them in her oven, and then selling them to crafters on Etsy to make like faux little velvet pumpkins. So she says every year they spend a month doing that, they make $8,000. So little things like that, and really went nuts after that. So that was my first viral sets of videos. And then I started to realize that most people are like me. They're just trying to make ends meet. And while volunteering for one of my charities, writing a grant, I took a break. And I was asking a corporation for $500, which didn't feel like a lot of money. And for anyone who's just joining us, while I'm telling you a little bit more about myself and how I got to the point that I'm at now, I'm asking you to tell me what it is that you want to talk about the most tonight. And I'm going to try to get to as much as I can, but those topics are audiobooks, self-publishing, content creation, and then clothing selling. So please just put that in the comments. We'll circle back at the end. While I was taking a break from writing this grant application for $500, I went to Poshmark and saw a skirt originally priced at $34,000. And I was so struck by that comparison. The fact that I was filling out a grant application, begging a corporation for $500, and someone bought a skirt for $34,000, a casual skirt that was the subject of my first Stupid Rich People Fashion viral video. And from then on, it just went crazy. You guys have seen, like, again, I never planned on this being my career. And I'm extremely fortunate that it is. I now have approximately 2.3 million followers. In an average week, I reach 100 million people. That is crazy. Like, that's crazy. And I'm very aware of that. So I also want to let you guys know that I am very aware that I'm speaking from a position of authority. New. I'm failing upwards. I don't know what I'm doing. From a position of privilege. When I got pregnant and was too sick to work, I had the ability to stop working. My husband told me, it's okay. I will continue to go to work. You be pregnant. And then after I gave birth, my plan was to return back to work, but I held my daughter in my arms and I said, I can't leave this tiny person. I can't do that. I want to be her mom. I want to stay home and be her mom. And again, he said, okay. So I had every conceivable advantage. I want to let you guys know that from the start. And there's a lot of people that I really appreciate who have an online presence, but also have a full-time job. And I'm so sorry I'm forgetting her name, but there's a reseller I really look up to who is a full-time nurse. I don't understand how you can be a full-time nurse and then also do all of this content creation. She's amazing to me. So this is not easy. And I've had a very long road to get here, but I've learned a lot along the way. So what I want to do is help you guys with any aspect of that. I don't want to gatekeep information. Like I said, there's a lot that I've learned, and online retail, audiobooks, self-publishing, clothing sales, all of these things, I am not diminished if you get into it and get good at it. We are not in competition. So I truly mean it when I say that if I can help you, I want to. It has been my absolute privilege to get to coach a bunch of people through getting started in their own audiobooks. And again, I don't lose anything by you being in audiobooks. Everybody wins. If you start publishing books because of advice that I've given you, the world becomes a better place. And I'm not scared of people getting into content creation, taking away from my audience, because I do what I do. You can't do what I do because you're not me. Same as like I've stitched a couple videos with other people because I think it's fun, but that can't be my whole shtick. I could take like bizarre dresses from the Oscars and make them with household materials, but there's other people who frankly are doing that better. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do what I do. I want you to do what you do. So let's get started, honey. Could you just let me know what the most popular topic is? I'm going to go over the basic information that I have, and then I'm just going to try to answer the questions that you guys have. And again, if this needs to be a series, we can do that, because I mean, there's a lot of information. Okay, so let's start with audiobooks. Could you pin that link? So down in the description of this video is my quick 10-minute tutorial that I put together on the stuff that you're going to need. You don't have to buy an ISBN number, baby. Sorry, we'll come back to that. So we're going to start with audiobooks. I did a 10-minute quick introduction that's available on my YouTube for anybody who has questions about that. The basic information is that, first of all, it does not have to be expensive. I go through ACX primarily to do my voiceover work. Hold on. I'm sorry. My dog is being the loudest she could be. Tinky, can you settle, honey? Can you settle? Sorry. I'm so sorry, you guys. Oh my gosh. Okay. I primarily go through ACX. That is Amazon's wing of audiobook production. When you go through that, it puts them available as Spotify and Audible. So as an audiobook narrator, that's where I choose to go. One of the things that I enjoy the most about ACX is that you can choose your own adventure, so to speak. You can filter available projects by Thank you. This is the link for that. It is also in the description. You can filter by the type of voice they're looking for, the age that they're looking for, the accent they're looking for, as well as the topic, and the length of the project. Another really important thing that you can do there is determine how you want payment. You can either do a royalty split where you will get 50% of audiobook sales in perpetuity, or they pay you upfront per performance hour. I've so enjoyed doing audiobooks because it's just not that complicated to do, and you don't have to buy a lot to get started. So ACX is my number one recommendation. Once your resume is built up a little bit, you can go to things like Voice 123. That's more geared towards like commercial work where it's like a 30-second political ad for like, I'm concerned about the future of our country. As a single mom, I want to make sure taxes go down for me. Like that's that, where you'll make $2,000 for a 30-second ad. So ACX, you can create your own profile there, load your own pieces. The equipment that I use, again, I'm going to say, if you want more information on this, check out that little 10-minute video. I purchased a Rode mic. So this is the microphone that I use. It plugs right in. It comes with this little poppy sleeve. This was about $100, but for me, it's worth it because it comes with the software to record. When it comes to editing, because you will have to edit your own work, and that's the real hard part. For that, I use Audacity, which is a free software. And using those two things, I'm able to completely create my stuff. And I do show in the tutorial, when you're editing, most of what you're doing is taking out pauses like the one I just did. Because conversationally, you're not hearing that, you're not aware of it. But when you're listening to it in book form, it sounds so jarring. And you're also going to take out flubs like that. But that's about it. That's like 90% of what you're going to do, as well as editing out the background room noise that you can do with ACX. So that is just not ultra complicated. It takes a long time though. If you have to record an hour, I would say until you get used to doing it, it's going to take you 2.5 hours, because you're going to have to record the hour, which is going to take longer than you think. And then you're going to have to listen to yourself back and take out all of the edits. So it is something that takes a long time to do initially. At this point, when I'm editing, I listen back to myself at 1.5 speed. So it sounds very strange to me to listen to myself at my normal speaking rate, because I hate my own voice. Let me be clear about that. But getting into audiobooks, not that complicated. And what I have found is that when you get a couple authors that you like and they like you, those are the people that will come back and keep bringing in that work for you. And audiobooks can be great because it is not a get rich quick scheme. Let me be very clear about that. It is not a get rich quick scheme, but you are producing a product one time that you can then continue to sell for the rest of your life. So could you give me the link for where they can find my books, please? So if someone comes to me and they say, oh, I love your voice, I want to fall asleep to it, I can say, cool, here's a link to my audiobooks. But then I can also say, what are you into? Because here's 3 sci-fi fantasy books. Here's 3 murder mysteries. Here, like I have enough that I can do that. And I completely agree, Dracus. The Rode mic, which again, I spent around $100 for, I have had 0 problems with it. And I also get to use the software that came with the microphone. So that's been very, very valuable for me to have there. And yes, it is a drop in the bucket of passive income, but it's something that I also enjoy doing. So this is where you can find all of my books. My link tree is down below. This will have all of that information in it. I'm kind of going over a bunch of stuff really quickly. So if there's more specific questions, we'll get into that in just a minute. Let's see. Gonna look back, see if there's any questions we want to answer right now. Colleen, so yes, if you're going to do audiobooks, you certainly can aim for like a science textbook. If all you want to do is just a straight voice all the way through, that's not a problem. I enjoy doing different voices. I enjoy doing different accents. That's just something that's fun for me. So yes, I have done pieces from 20 minutes up to, I think the longest is around 20 hours. That's the most that I've done. I personally prefer to do a royalty split with my authors because there's a lot of newer authors that I find really interesting that I want to work with, but that might not be able to afford upfront paying a big sum. And also, let's be honest, again, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I have 2.3 million followers. So if I wholeheartedly say, listen, I love this book, you're not going to guess who the killer is, blah, blah, blah. I feel that I can generate my own sales enough to justify doing the investment of that work. And yeah, I love doing different voices for all the characters. That's just fun for me. All right, let's see. Are there any other questions that we have about audiobooks for right now? I'm again just going to really strongly encourage you guys, if you're interested in getting started in this, click the link, watch the quick 10-minute video that I did because it is not that hard to get into. And you know what? I'm going to answer this question. What kind of impact do you think AI will have on audiobooks? So ACX right now is offering authors the ability to have their book read by an AI voice. It is garbage. Although I believe that technology will certainly get better in the future, that's not what people want right now. It's not. There's no replacing a human voice. And I think there's incredible value to doing what I do the way that I do it. So I'm not scared of big technology in the future. I think that it's the same as bank tellers being scared of ATMs rolling out, that this is going to take all of our jobs. It didn't. It changes the jobs that the humans do. So, a farmer doesn't need to be scared of the plow. The plow removes an aspect of the farmer's job. Absolutely. But it does not take the job away. It frees up time so that you can do something else. So I'm not scared about that. I hope you people are not supporting AI. I understand that for an author, it's a much cheaper option, but I think there is incredible value to a human voice. So I'm not going to stop what I'm doing anytime soon. And yeah, funnily enough, I was cast in my first movie to be an AI, which I think is hilarious, and I absolutely love it. But I do have a computer voice. I've used it many times in recordings. Like it's having a human. You hear the difference. You absolutely hear it. All right, hold on. All right, so are there any other questions that we have about audiobooks right now? And again, if we want to get into this more specifically, I can have talks in the future. The 10-minute video answers all of the basic questions. You can always email me if you have more specific questions. The biggest thing I want to tell you is that it is not a huge and immediate moneymaker, but it is a very good field to get into because you also could find that what you enjoy is editing rather than reading. And there's absolutely a market for people who can edit. Sorry, Beth, I'll answer your question in a second. So to get started on ACX, yes. I recommend uploading 3 to 5 samples that give a range of what you're capable of. One should just be your normal speaking voice when you're reading through anything. I will recommend non-copyrighted things like Shakespeare or Edgar Allan Poe are always popular. And then do something with your accents as well. Give people a chance to look at your range, see what you can do. Um, Let them know what sort of accents you can do, what sort of accents you don't enjoy doing. Really let them know where you want to be. And the people who want to find you can go back and refer to those. The number one way to get yourself cast: audition, audition, audition. So many people create accounts and think the world will flood them with offers. Absolutely untrue. You have to find the pieces you want to audition for. Auditioning is the number one way to get your piece. I will tell you though, I have never not gotten something I've auditioned for, because I think so many people just do not do the auditions. So that's really important. I did not take any vocal classes, but I was sort of thrown into the deep end immediately after college. I graduated with a degree in theater. I went to work at a theater, and I was told at my internship at the end of the week, you are upper class British in one play and you are lower class Irish in another. So I had 1 week to learn those, which was great. And then I was on stage performing. So I really operate under the sink or swim model, but you truly can learn anything on YouTube. And it's going to sound stupid, but it's very true. When I have to do a Scottish accent, I watch 5 minutes of Braveheart. When I need to do an Irish accent, I watch 5 minutes of Boondock Saints. Like I have triggers that I've trained myself for to go into different pieces. So yeah, hold on. Sorry, I don't understand this. Why was a comment saying what vids she usually does deleted? Daberchick, I don't know what you're referring to. Can you clarify that? Well, let's see. And this is also a really good point from Jim. You have to determine what you want to read and what you don't. I know, for example, if I had to read a math or science textbook, I would want to strangle myself to death. Like, that is not my thing at all. I love doing fantasy. I love doing sci-fi. I love doing murder mysteries. So that's what I try to gear more towards. And also, like, you can do erotica. You cannot do erotica. Like, it's completely your choice. Just let people know up front. And again, Beth, I go through ACX. So ACX is Amazon's wing of audiobooks. That allows you to publish on Amazon, on Audible, on Spotify, all of the major brands. Now, do I love Amazon? No. Realistically, that's how we find work at this point. And I always say on this channel, the goal is to be better, not perfect. I would love to say that my personal books that I've written are only available, from like small local bookstores. That's just not possible right now. No, hold on just a second. Yeah. Yeah. It's the biggest market, 100%. All right. Are there any other questions for audiobooks? I'm going to try to keep this relatively short, but again, if we need to do more specific question and answer sections, we can do that. And I apologize. I have not been active on my personal Discord in a very long time. I think these kinds of talks on that Discord would be more helpful, so that you guys can actually speak to me. So yeah, anything else on audiobooks? I'm going to suggest watch the 10-minute video, take a look at it. If you have any questions, email me and I will set up a time to speak to you personally about whatever your question is. But it's something that I really enjoy doing, as long as you go into it with eyes wide open, understanding that it will take a long time. It's going to take a while to get that traction that you're looking for, and it is not a get rich quick scheme. And the Discord is open. That's open to anybody. All right. And honey, could you just post again, the links are all down below in the description if you want to take a look at those. All right, so let's move on to clothing selling. So that was the first thing that I got started in, because we live in a world of such incredible abundance, as well as such incredible need. So I wrote this book, which anyone who's worked retail will understand. I worked retail for 10 years. That's why the book is called Why I Hate Everything. Most of that time was spent in thrift stores. So I really have a great appreciation for secondhand. And when I got pregnant and I could not continue working, I started selling clothing on Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, Depop, and Facebook Marketplace. When Poshmark started allowing live shows, I started focusing on live shows because that's where my heart is. I really do like performing. It's something that I find I'm very good at, and I can sell clothing a lot quicker when I can just show it to you instead of writing up a full description and hoping that you find it. And I want to be very clear, what I do works for me. You have to find out what works for you. So I'm not going to sit here and say everyone should be selling live on Whatnot. No. If you don't want to be on camera, that's fine. There's another way to do it. But I also wrote a book about how you can get started in clothing sales. Hold on. So that is not hard to do. And about 90% of what I get comes to me for completely free as a donation. So as a mom with not a lot of extra cash, that was a really great way for me to get started. And the number one way to get free clothing to sell, ask. Ask your friends, ask your families. And just post on your personal Facebook page, print something out at your office and just say, hey, if you're doing spring cleaning, please consider giving it to me. You would be absolutely shocked at how big the response is. Because usually if you ask somebody like, hey, do you have any extra clothing you can get rid of? They'll think of like, oh, you know what? I have these 3 pairs of jeans I've been keeping because like I'm telling myself I'm going to lose weight. It's been 2 years. I'll give those to you. The next day they'll come back with 3 trash bags. That's absolutely how it has worked for me. So my clothing system is much more turn and burn. And I see there's an inventory management question. I'll go into that in just a second. But what I do is I have Whatnot sales where all of my clothing starts at $2. So what I will do, I'm picking up the shirt next to me. I'm just going to show you guys right now. Don't judge how filthy my house is. Ugh. So what I will do is say, okay, so up next we have a universal thread, size extra large. This is like a faux shearling piece. I see that it's got pockets. I'm looking for the ingredients. So this is 100% polyester. And let's try this on. This is my size, so this might actually close on my boobs. So this is like a really, really soft piece, full button up front, 2 pockets, long sleeve. And I see this as being like a very easy fall go-to overthrow jacket. Start the timer. My clothing runs for 10 seconds. Whatever it sells for, it sells for. But again, because I get those items for free, yes, a lot of pieces go for $2, but you can never predict what's going to go nuts. So I've had pieces like this sell for $35, $45, $50 because there's 3 people in the room that really want it. And I understand that it's worth it. So yes, I do have an Insta to follow. It is the same as my name here. And again, if you want to click on that link tree, it's going to have links to all of my links down below. So that's what I do. I have a turn and burn method. I no longer sell on any platform except for Whatnot. But soon I'm going to open my own thrift website because again, there's so much stuff. 90% of what I sell comes in as donations. The other 10% I go shopping at the Goodwill bins for. You can get probably 3 trash bags full of clothing for $60. And that allows you to search through and find what it is you want. So yes, Whatnot is a bidding site. I'm live there every Thursday at 7. Again, if you want to get started there, absolutely let me know. I will help you out. If you want to get started on a site like Poshmark, again, let me know and we can have more of these sessions if you want to know how to do that. What you have to decide when you're selling clothing is which two options you want, which of the two, I should say. One, the turn and burn method that I have, where you're going to sell a lot of clothing for lower prices. The benefit of that is that you don't have to store it. I get pieces in, I try to sell them all within the same week. If you have the ability to store pieces long term, you can post things for more money. You just have to wait. Because when you post something on Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, whatever, you can post all of those and wait for them to sell for higher prices. For me, I found that it's better for me to sell 10 pieces at $1 each than one piece for $10 because I get to move through it faster. I do have an inventory system that I use that I will be using for my online thrift store. The best way to see that is to get my book, but I will try to post listings. It's a basic numeric system. And Beth, good question here. Doesn't shipping kill profits? No, not for me. Because on Whatnot and on Poshmark, the buyer pays shipping. And that's one of the reasons I left eBay. Because eBay, if you do it wrong, you can really lose out on shipping. But no. I hear. Thank you. I know. Thank you. I focus on things that work for me. I make clothing, for example. I have a jacket right here that I made. This was just a basic jacket and an old Monty Python t-shirt that I put together because I like it more. I'm going to put some blood spatter on the bottom. I'm going to sell that on my own website. Etsy did not work for me because you have to pay fees for each item that you list. You have to wait a long time and you essentially have to pay your own shipping. Was not for me. Hold on. Sorry, everyone. I'm sorry. What's up, girl? Again, I know that I'm moving through this like really quickly. And yeah, I quit eBay for the same thing. eBay was just not for me. I did very well there, frankly, but there's so much negativity that comes with that. Like on Poshmark, I find that if I ship something and then it turns out there's a little rip, a buyer will be like, hey, I hate to do this, but I have to open a case. I want to return this. There's a rip you didn't tell me about. And I'm like, oh my God, of course. Yes, absolutely. Get your money back. Ship it back to me. We're cool, sis. On eBay, it's like, scammer. What's wrong with you? I'll kill your family. Like it's crazy. So each selling platform definitely has their own etiquette and their own vibe. You have to find out what works for you. When I sold on Depop, very briefly, I felt the oldest I have ever felt. They're Gen X and below. And at 37, I was like, I am decrepit and wizened and I don't want to be here anymore. Like, not for me. Not for me. Yeah, I have run 2 websites on Shopify and found them very easy to work with. Creating your own website is pretty easy. Getting people to go to your website, very difficult. I had my own thrift website years ago. Before I really blew up, I thought I have 5,000 followers on Instagram. I'm going to start my own business and I'm going to do amazing. No. You get about a 1% return on your followers. When you ask them to do something, you get a 1% return. So I didn't make a ton of sales on my first site. I did okay. Now that I have the numbers that I have, I'm going to try again because I really enjoy thrift. It's something that I want to do. I love clothing. You guys know how I feel about fashion. But there's a lot of ways to be a clothing seller. And that's the point that I'm trying to get across. So again, if we want to do more of these sessions where we talk specifically about that, There's a lot of ways you can do this, but I do want you to know it is possible because other people have done work. So I'm opening a thrift website for myself, but I have the numbers to support that. Again, around 2.3 million cumulative followers. I have the numbers to support that now. If you want to get started, I would say sell on Poshmark, sell on eBay. Give yourself a month on each platform and see if you like it or not. And if you don't, leave. Do not waste your time. Give it a month. If you don't like it, leave. And if you start selling on Poshmark and you like it, and then you start selling on eBay and you like it, and then you start selling on Mercari and you like it, you can do all of that. It pays to invest financially in yourself. One of the best things that I did for myself when I was a full-time reseller, and again, link in my bio, I signed up for the cross-posting service List Perfectly, so that instead of taking the pictures and editing them myself and creating the descriptions and fully posting everything to Poshmark and then screenshotting all of that and then loading it all into eBay and then personally loading it all into Mercari and then personally loading it all into Facebook and then personally loading it all into Mercari, I did all of that in List Perfectly, hit a couple buttons, and it would cross post for me. Initially, that was really scary for me because investing in my business was a huge step for me, but I saw an immediate return. So again, I'm one of those people where I say, like, try it, give it a month. If it doesn't work, move on. There are enough opportunities in this world. And if what you love is luxury fashion, you can do that. You can spend all day going to different thrift stores and waiting until you see Coach, Louis Vuitton, whatever it is that you want, and just getting one piece that whole day. But if you post it and if you make $800 off of that sale, it's worth it. It's worth it. There are different ways to sell. You have to find what you love. And this is my seamless transition. It is the same exact thing for content creation. I do a lot of things, guys, in order to be a stay-at-home mom, which is the most important thing in my life. I do a lot of things. I love all of them. Because if you don't love it, you're not going to do it. And it's going to feel like work. So I'm going to answer some of the questions that I see over here. Let me know if you have more questions. Tim, no. I don't like charging people. I'll be honest, I don't. I am just now getting into some brand crossovers. And I only endorse things that I actually like use and like, but I don't, even though it is giving someone exposure, just leaves an icky taste in my mouth. So no, I also never want somebody to feel like I'm part of a get rich quick scheme. So no, maybe if I'm like crazy successful with this website, I could offer that to people. I would like to be able to host smaller artists because this is a great question and it's really fucking hard. Really fucking hard. Because again, making the thing, not that hard. Getting people to look at it, incredibly hard. I'm not gonna lie about that. And one of the best things you can do is talk to people like me. Because I have the numbers, although I hate saying it. I'm an influencer. Like, if I love what you do, absolutely, I will feature it on my page. And I've had multiple people ask me, could you show this in exchange for money? I don't take money for that. I do not take money for that. I don't like that. If I legitimately like what you do, I will show it on the page. Reach out to influencers. Some of them are shitty. A lot of them are shitty. Some of them will do that. But Yeah, getting people to look at your stuff is really hard, and having a presence on social media is incredibly important, but let me also tell you, you never know what's gonna hit and what's not gonna hit. Um, you never know what's gonna go absolutely gangbusters, so keep trying. If you've made a reel that you think is amazing and it didn't hit, try posting it again at a different time. I've done bad designs first thing in the morning that just like don't do that well. So I pull the video and I post it at 10 o'clock at night. The videos go nuts. It could be that what you're posting is just the people who watch that video are not there at that time, or it's the wrong subject matter for that time of day, or you're posting something that maybe is like a little risque. Like if you make lingerie and you're posting that at noon, maybe women don't want to open that in their phones in the office and have people be like, what are you watching? So maybe that needs to get posted at 10 o'clock at night. Like there's a lot of reasons a reel could not be successful. But if you believe it's funny, if you believe it's informative, if you believe it's good, keep trying. Hold on. I'm going to answer this too, Joe. No. I just kind of hired my first person ever. But for the last 5 years, I have done clothing reselling, audiobooks. I've self-published 2 books. A third is going to be coming out this year. I do all of the content creation. I have my own personal Patreon as well as a podcast on another Patreon that I'm a partner in by myself. I work all the time. The benefit that I have is that I enjoy my work. So I'll edit an audiobook until I want to blow my brains out. And then I will switch to making reels. And once I have 4 or 5 reels and I'm getting bored, I will switch to writing. And then once I get tired of that, I will switch to sorting clothing donations for next week's show. Like you have to be a go-getter for so much of this. But if you have that in you, you can be successful at a lot of this. And yes, Gwen, that's why you will see the same reel posted multiple times. And I can tell you, it makes a huge difference. It can also be an audience thing. I have one post that has, yeah, give me 1 second, baby. I have one reel that has 20 million views on YouTube. It has 210 views on TikTok. 20 million, 210. And there are a lot of reasons for that. One of them is the way the algorithm works. And I want to take a minute to explain that to you guys because it's really important if you're into any kind of content creation. Basically, when you post a video, TikTok, Facebook, they will show it to a very small circle of people. And depending on how that video does in the first 2 to 3 minutes that it's posted, if that small circle of people watch the video all the way through, share it, save it, like it, comment on it, then it will get shown to a larger group of people. Same exact thing, 2 to 3 minutes, depending on how it's responded to, larger group of people. Depending on how it's responded to, larger group of people. Depending on how it's responded to, larger group of people. Depending on how it's responded to, larger group of people, which is why on a site like Facebook, on those For You pages on TikTok, if you look at the count of the videos, it will be 163,000 likes. They're showing you something they believe you will like. Pay attention to what you're seeing. Pay attention to the number of likes. You only see the really popular things. And that's why. So the first 10 minutes of your reel will most likely determine its success overall. And I've done it before. I've posted a video. It doesn't do great. I immediately pull it. I'll post it a couple hours later. Gangbusters, crazy. What the fuck is happening? It absolutely works that way. And that's why you'll see content creators like me say, like and subscribe. We hate saying it. I want to kill myself every time. Like and subscribe. It does help. because if you are subscribed to me, if you have liked previous videos of mine, it is more likely that you will be in that small group that gets to see the video first. And then depending on how that does, it's going to get bigger. So just the next time you're doom scrolling, pay attention to the number of likes. It's extremely unlikely that you will see anything that has less than like 20,000 likes on it, because you're probably in one of those bigger circles. You only tend to be in one of those smaller circles if you have previously responded to that specific content. So that's why I really strongly suggest pay attention to your numbers in the first couple minutes. If it's not doing great, pull repost. Pull repost. So let me answer this question. A day in my life. My work day is from 7 o'clock in the morning until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I get up on Mondays and Wednesdays. I have live sessions on the Chicks with Fix Patreon, our wake up lives from 7 to 7:30. After that, I do an hour of content creation because I have to research, compile, create, get ready to post. Then I do audiobooks. I stop at 1 because my primary job is mom. And 1 o'clock is when I need to start to get ready to get my daughter from school. I then have her. I do mom stuff until like 6:30 or 7. That's when the second part of my workday starts. So Mondays, I do movie night live streams on the Chicks with Fix Patreon. Tuesdays, I do the comment section on my personal Patreon. Wednesdays, family dinners. Thursdays, I do my live sales on Whatnot. Friday is I try to have some personal time. We see how that goes. I have my daughter every other weekend. So the weekends that I have her, I don't work. That's something I've had to accept because she's 7. She's still at an age where she wants to be with me. And I'm really trying to not fuck that up, honestly. There are times where I have to work, like now. She's set up in front of the TV with snack because I had to schedule this for now. But I'm real busy. So the time that I do have, I work. And I've gotten really good at multitasking because I'm not good at sitting still. As soon as I feel comfortable with something, I tend to find a way to do more. So like I will be researching new potential content while I am listening to audiobooks and editing my audiobooks, because I've gotten to the point where I'm good enough at this now that I'm not really listening to what I'm saying. I'm just listening for pauses. I'm listening for myself to cough. If there's some sort of break in the text, or if I hear myself repeating a phrase, that's enough to like break me out of that mental fugue state and go in and fix the thing. But given the amount of work that I do, I have to double up on tasks. So I do work like that. So that's the best approximation that I can give you for a day in the life. Again, I want to be really honest with you guys. I make a full-time income, but I work really hard for that. And you have to work a bunch of different ways and you don't know what's going to hit. Yeah, Becca. So I recently started seeing a therapist because I'm trying to do better. And one question she asked me is like, what do you do for self-care? And I stared at her for 20 seconds. And then, and she said, okay, that's not good. And so I then explained to her like, well, I legitimately love all of what I do. I love my jobs. I love all of them. So I do one job that I love. And then when I get burnt out on that, I switch to another job that I love. And then when I get burnt out on that, I switch to another job that I love. And she's like, yeah, that's not good. Like, that's not healthy. So she said like, okay, but what do you do to relax? And I was like, well, hold on. Hold, please. One thing I love to do is any shirt that's too boring, like this completely plain turtleneck. This is boring and I hate it, and we're moving into spring and I don't think anybody's going to want it. So I like to take pieces like this and cut them up and make t-shirt yarn. And then I take the t-shirt yarn and I make bags like this. I love doing this, and it's something that I can do that is still helpful to my businesses because it's still all about recycling, and I'm going to sell products like this on my personal website. But that's still work. And that's something my therapist has been trying to get me to understand, is that it's like, if it's monetized, it's still work. And I'm trying to get her to understand that it's like, yes, but I feel good doing this. I feel good because it's something that I get to do with my hands. And it is something that I can turn around and use to make money on. And I get to tell people this is made of upcycled bags and maybe inspire them to make stuff too. Like, I love what I do. So in terms of self-care, I don't really do that. And I know that's a problem. And I'm glad you asked that question, because I want to be upfront about the fact that, again, this is really hard. And if you want to do this, it's very possible, but you're going to have to work a lot. And I'm saying this as someone who has, again, over 2 million followers. I make a full-time income. If I take a week off, that's gone. I want to let you know that too. That is gone. YouTube has banned my channel multiple times for various different reasons. One, for supporting violent extremism and domestic terrorism, which dog fashion. And I'm sorry, I am going to come back and answer some of these questions. When I'm gone, very few people reach out and say, hey, what happened? Most people don't know my name. Most people don't know my channel name. They don't think about you when you disappear. A week later, when my channel is unbanned and I'm back and I'm reposting, they'll be like, oh, hey, I missed you. That's the extent of it. So when I'm on vacation, which I don't do, I have to keep posting. If I know that I'm going to be like visiting my parents and we're going to be going to see a play or something, I have reels saved in my phone that I will load at intermission, because you have to keep working. So I want to be very clear about that. There is no vacation. There is no stopping. You do everything you can to prepare as much as possible. So let me go back and answer some of these questions. All right, let's see. Sorry, I'm going to go back. Beth, this is a really good practice to get into. I personally do not, because this bag would be $80 and I know that no one will buy it for that. And again, that is my self-care activity. But if you are a handmade seller, that's definitely worth doing. And yeah, Gerald. Hello, everyone. This is Gerald. He's one of the authors that I do audiobooks for. You've told me multiple times, Gerald, that like writing is your self-care and it's not something you're going to get to retire on, but it's something I believe people have to make stuff. I really do. And I think you're a wonderful example of that. I love working with Gerald because the worlds that he creates in his books are amazing. And Gerald's not going to retire off of that. I'm not going to retire off of the sales of his audiobooks, but it is such an incredible privilege and joy to get paid to read work like that. So yes, 100%. Health insurance is one of my larger concerns. It's very costly, and that's another reason that I can never stop working. So yes, that is a very real concern. I'm also going to encourage you, whatever it is that you want to do, make sure that you're saving your money. I have a certain amount of money that I will not dip below in my accounts. If I get close to that, I stop spending, period. Now, primarily that's because I'm a fear-based person, but also I have a child. That's a very real concern for me. So what I will not do is have her have to do without. So I don't get my nails done anymore because I'm now not living with a person who has a second income. That was an unnecessary expenditure that I've cut out of my life. Do I miss it? Absolutely. But I have a certain amount in savings. I will not allow myself to dip below because God forbid there's ever some kind of emergency. Money is very important, especially when I don't have a reliable paycheck. My income is based on you. It's based on whether you guys watch my videos, whether you guys buy my clothing, whether you guys buy the audiobooks. And so much of that is outside of my control because again, I have been permanently banned on YouTube 3 times. Now, each time they've overturned that decision and allowed the channel to come back, but I have had to claw my way from making around $5,000 a month to 0 and then work my way back up to the 5,000 a month that I'm entitled to. And there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. So there's so much that's outside of my control that I control what I can, and money is a huge part of that. I'm about to apologize for talking too much, but here we are. Let's see. I'm sorry. I'm reading through comments to see if there's anything else. So fight against the thought that you lose when you don't post. I wish to God that were true. But when I post a video, the algorithm determines whether or not you will see it. And if I have not been posting regularly, no. If I don't post in YouTube, the first video that I post tends to get 5,000 views overall, when my average video will get around 60,000. So, nope. This is my full-time job. I have to treat it like a job. I'm not saying that to be like, you're wrong, idiot. No. I just want you guys to be as aware as possible. So I'm just trying to be as clear as I can. Sorry, I'm rolling through. If I didn't post for a month, what's the worst thing that could happen? People unsubscribe. I go way down in the algorithm. The new videos that I post don't get views. It's the same as me saying, what if you don't show up to your job for a month? That's what it is. And again, I'm not saying that to be argumentative. I want you to be aware of this if this is something that you want to get into. If you want to start a YouTube channel and you are in any way relying on it financially, it is a huge commitment. And the other thing I want to tell people is I get a lot of people who want advice on content creation, which again, email me anytime. But when I reach out to them and say, okay, what do you want to do on your channel? They say, I don't know. Then you don't want to be on YouTube. You want to be famous. If you don't know what you want to talk about, you already fucked up. So you can do this. I'm not saying you guys have to do this. No, but it's just seriously, like, I so appreciate the amount of support that I have had personally, but more importantly, that the charities and small businesses that I've mentioned on this channel get. And again, I'm speaking from an extremely privileged position in having the ability to do what I do. But like for my birthday, when I posted about the GoFundMe, you guys raised $16,000 in less than a week. That is insane. And that's not something I intended. I never thought that this channel would have that kind of community behind it. And that's you guys. I have to plug this in. So you're all going to see my butt for a minute. So just bear with me. Okay. And we're back. No one look. Okay. Okay. Um, let's see. Again, I'm sorry. I'm checking over here. Let's see. Oh, Jim. Oh, Jim. Thank you, Jim. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see. Thank you. Once again, I hate saying it. I really do. Being subscribed helps. And whether you want to start your own content creation or whether you're just like looking to help a friend who does it, like, subscribe, comment, share. It fucking matters. That is the lifeblood of what I do. Even watching a video to the end makes such a huge difference because it's all algorithm based. And that helps with the algorithm. Let's see. Joe, right now we are only on YouTube. This is available to be rewatched through YouTube. But if people want more of these, like, not one-on-one, but more personal mentoring sessions, I'm absolutely happy to start doing this on a more regular basis on my Discord. Audrey has been doing an amazing job on my Discord. I have not visited it in about a year, I'll be honest. Because my life got too busy. Life got in the way of business. Something had to drop. Unfortunately, it was that. But if this is actually helpful to you guys, I'm happy to do more of that. Okay. All right. What else we got? My email is refashionedhippie@gmail.com. Best way to reach me for right now. I don't schedule content to have it automatically post. What I do is I just have backup videos ready to go at any time. Because like bad designs, I can do bad designs kind of at any time. I can do designing for humans kind of at any time. It's important for me to stay up to date on events happening as they are. So I try to post 3 or 4 times a day, every single day. Usually 2 of those will be something that I've made in reserve. 2 of those will be something that is like, I need to comment on this right now. Let's see. Did someone else donate? Oh my God. Thanks, guys. Oh my God, that's so nice. Oh, thank you. Bobby, yes, I do stream Whatnot on YouTube. Now, people cannot buy from my Whatnot sales on YouTube, but I have such a large following on YouTube that I just like to show people what it is that I do. And my goal is that if you're watching on YouTube and you see something that you really like, you will then join me over on Whatnot. What is this for? Hold on. You guys are so nice. Oh my God. Thank you. Oh my God. Sorry, that's totally unexpected. But while we're here, use your platform. That's another thing. Like, show of hands, except of course you guys can't show me because you're in your own homes. How many of you did not know that I have published 2 books? Just quick hand. Quick hand in the comment section. How many of you did not know that? And I'm going to look through questions while we're doing that. I'm also in Maryland. What's up, girl? And Brad, I have not used software to stream content to multiple platforms. The reason that I do not do that is, yeah, lots of you. Yep. There we go. This brings me to the next point. The reason that I don't do that is because I think that the content that I put on each platform is important. So I have content that I will only put on my Patreon, for example. The comment section live every Tuesday night, I will only put on my Patreon because even though the Patreon is free, oh my God, you guys, I'm going to cry. Sorry. Even though the Patreon is free, I want to thank people who come there and subscribe to me there. So I thank you with that extra content. Oh my God. And boo, I'll get to that in just a second. But yeah, so show of hands for who didn't know I was a published author. That link has been in my bio for 3 years now. I talk about it at least once a month. But again, what you see is determined by the algorithm. And the reels where I'm talking about my personal accomplishments, they're just not as fun, right? They're just not as fun. So that small group that we talked about tends to not respond to it as well as like the bad design videos, because those are just funnier, they're more enjoyable. So those are more likely to get shown to the larger audience. So, Bobby, thank you. Oh my God. You guys, thank you so much, you guys. Oh my gosh. Yay. Sorry. Sorry. My overall point is shout it from the fucking rooftops. Whatever your accomplishment is, whatever it is that you sell, say it over and over and over and over, because not everybody is going to see it. And a lot of you I know have been telling me you're new here. A lot of you are not new. And you didn't know that I do audiobooks, that I wrote 2 of my own, including this one, links in the bio. I did the audiobook version of this. That was my first ever audiobook. I have clothing sales on Whatnot. I have tutorials on how to do basic things like this. I have 2 Patreons. There's a lot that I do, but you have to constantly say it. And no, I do not do OnlyFans. I get asked that question a lot, and I'm aware of my tits. Let me be clear about that. I don't in any way look down on men and women who choose to do OnlyFans, but it's not for me. It's not something that I want to pursue for a number of different reasons. The spiciest that I get is Sarah and I film our Chicks with Fix podcast in lingerie. That's as far as I go. And I have not mentioned the Harry Potter by Balenciaga on my channel because it's 100% AI slop. I believe in using my platform for good as much as I can, and I do not want to give voice to AI slop. So you're not going to be seeing a reaction to that. Thank you. Oh my God. So nice. Yeah, I have absolutely loved. No, Jay, no, I'm sorry. I don't mean to shit on you for that. I believe in using my channel to elevate. And I know that might sound stupid because what I do is like try to fucking tear down rich people shit, but it is such an incredible privilege to get to highlight small businesses that I believe in, charities that are doing important things in our world. And even though I know that if I did a reel responding to the Balenciaga Harry Potter shit, it would go really well, I don't want to. I don't want to encourage people to use AI when I think that human voices are the most important thing. So I try to be very careful about what I mention and what I don't mention. The other thing I want to say is, you guys have all seen it. I do not discuss politics on my channel. I do not discuss my faith on my channel. And there are very specific reasons for that. And it's not because I'm afraid I'll lose followers, which is true. No matter what I said is true. If I say that my favorite color is red, people who love blue are like, bitch, like whatever you say online is controversial at this point. Sorry. But I believe that there's value in comedy. Oh my God. You guys are the fucking best. I think that we've never been more politically divided than we are at this moment. And there is incredible value to having a place to simply come rest. and I want my channel to be a place to rest for a minute. I will tell you with pride that I got an email from a woman who said that she and her mother were incredibly politically divided. They don't talk for more than like 5 minutes at a clip, and that's once every 3 or 4 months. But she once mentioned one of my videos, and they then talked about my stuff for an hour. And that was the longest she has spoken to her mother in 10 years. And there is value to that. And I'm not going to give that up. I also think that if I said vote for Ted, my channel will not change hearts and minds. All of Phil's supporters will just be like, well, fuck her. So there's a reason I keep politics and religion off of my channel. And that's why. And that's something I'm going to continue to do in the future. I do want to answer one question though. Sorry, just a minute. Sorry, it's way back. Just a tick. Beth, one of the things that I'm going to be doing, and I'm not really supposed to talk about it yet because we're not completely done, but I'm going to be opening my own thrift website, hopefully this summer. Each month, 10% of profits will go to one of the charities that I have had the honor of featuring on my channel. So 12 charities over the course of a year. Each month, one of them will get different profits, and I'll get to share one very important charity online. That's what I'm going to be doing in the future, so that I get to focus on 12 charities. There are so many people in this world doing such incredibly good and important work. And I'm going to tell you right now, because it's something I've learned about myself, whatever skill set you have, you can use it to do good. And that's how I'm going to do my best to do good. So on my thrift page, there will be a brief look into those 12 charities. But yes, that's something I'm going to be doing in the future. Oh, that was not the question. This was the question. I'm sorry. But I will be fixing that, Beth. Thank you. I did not know that. Thank you. Yeah, just like Jen's saying here. Yes. Excuse me, what? Yes. Oh my gosh, this is what we love to see. Oh my god. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Yay! Thank you guys so much. Oh my gosh. All right. So let me know, are there any other questions that we want to answer right now? Also, it just seems like we might want to do more of these in the future. I know that this was not really like an in-depth conversation. I know there's a lot to go over, and we can certainly talk more. I'm going to try to do these more in the future if it seems like something that would help you guys. But the overall takeaways are just, A, you can do this, and B, it's really hard. So to answer this question, Nick, link in my bio to a YouTube video that is a quick, like 10-minute overview on that information. If you have questions after that, go ahead and email me. The biggest hurdle that I had when I first started developing my platform, embracing myself. I had around 5,000 followers on Instagram, and then I decided to really invest in social media and start expanding to other platforms. One of the biggest, just gonna drop that there for a minute. One of the biggest problems that I had is that, I'm gonna cry. Let's all get ready. Growing up, when I was in middle school, when I was in high school, when I was in college, I knew I was ugly. I didn't think. I knew. I knew that I was ugly, and I just hoped that one day someone would be able to see past my looks and see that I'm caring and intelligent. And that didn't happen in high school and college. I was always someone that my male friends came to talk about the girls they were interested in. I was never the one that they were pursuing. So when I started showing my face, you'll see it in older videos. I always used filters. And I didn't just use filters, I used filters that changed my jawline. They made my lips bigger. They put makeup on my face. And I used to think if I could look like that, I would like myself. And I really struggled with that. But once I took those filters off and I started being my authentic self, that's when I started really connecting with people. And it sounds so stupid to say it, but it's completely true. Like the people who are attracted to you, and I don't just mean physically, I mean like in terms of friendship, if you're putting on a mask, they're attracted to the mask. They're attracted to the person you're pretending to be. So once you drop that, once you are yourself, you're going to find the people who actually like you. You're going to find the people that want to be around you. Thank you. And that's what I started doing. So now I don't use filters. I don't really wear makeup because I don't care. I'm me. And the people who have stuck around actually like me. So that was my biggest struggle, was letting people see me. And allowing people into your life like that on social media can be really weird, really weird and really scary. But I can honestly tell you that some of my biggest supporters are people that I'll probably never meet in real life, but they know me. They know who I am and they want to be here. So it's a very long answer, but that was my biggest struggle. And now I'm someone who really embraces body positivity. And I'm learning to love myself. But, I did that reel earlier today about Heidi Klum where people are saying, like, oh my God, she looks pregnant. It's like she's 52 and has had 4 children. Denise, what do you look like? Like it's people feel that because someone is a public figure, they owe you to look a certain way. And those expectations can be crazy. And it's really unfortunate how many women, men, of course, also, but let's be honest, women choose not to enter a space like this because they're afraid of receiving those kinds of criticisms. But I can tell you, as someone who's done it, it's really fucking hard. Really, really hard. But yeah, absolutely. The best thing that you can do is just be you. It's just be you. And for all of the negative comments that I receive, there are 100 positive ones. So that has also been really empowering. Because like I said, when I started showing my face, when I started cutting off those filters, when I started expressing my real opinions, that's when I blew up. And frankly, that's what keeps people coming back to the Whatnot shows, because I'm not just standing there saying t-shirt, jeans. It's like I am being me. And that's what people embrace. So don't be a character if you want to go online. It's so much easier to be yourself. And that content is ephemeral because it's real. So that was a long answer. But again, I want to be as honest with you guys as I can possibly be. So I've kept everybody for like a really long time. Any last minute questions? Otherwise, I'm going to cut this off. But if we need to do more of these, I think we'll just do some more of these. But again, check out the stuff below. All the people who've been texting me, I have not looked at my phone this whole time. And yeah, if you want to talk more, please consider joining me for a Whatnot show. There doesn't tend to be a huge audience. There are only like 40, 50 people. So we really have the chance to talk because I am stranded there, just answering questions. Let's see. Okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Oh, thank you guys so much. Oh my God. You guys are so sweet. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much, you guys. So links to everything is in my link tree down below. That's where you can find my personal book, the audiobook that I did for my book, the audiobooks that I have done. Oh, here's a good question. Hold on. Would you rather fight a chicken every time you have to get in your car or an orangutan with a sword once a year? Chicken. Every time. Chicken every time. Because the thing is, if it's the same chicken, I'm going to learn his moves. Plus, like, break one wing, it stays broken for a couple months. Orangutan with a sword, they're surprisingly strong. I know from experience, and I'm no longer allowed in the zoo. Okay, let's see. Stream of what, Charlotte? What are you talking about, babes? Let's see. An author panel. It really depends when next weekend, because I'm not allowed to talk about this. But I'm going to be in a music video next weekend. So I'm not sure. Beth, baby, what's up? Get on my level. A year of practice and I'd mess that monkey up. I don't think I could take a monkey. I'm going to be honest, especially with a sword. You don't know what he's doing with that. Okay. Oh no, Colleen, the orangutan has the sword. You come in barehanded. What genre of music? Loud, hard, fast. I grew up going to hardcore shows because that was the band that my brother was in. And instead of babysitting us, when my parents left for the night, 10 minutes later, he would load us into a van. So I've been selling merch since I was like 8 years old. So I really like loud metal. That's where I'm at. I have read all types of audiobooks. I personally enjoy doing mysteries and sci-fi. That's where my heart is. Let's see. Charlotte, you're gonna have to email me, honey. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're gonna have to email me, babes. All right. Well, I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you so much for coming to this. I hope it was informative. Of course, I have pets. I have 2 pit bulls, and they are very ferocious. Very ferocious. Okay, let's see. Oh, chickens can fight. Chickens can fight. They get real ferocious. Let's see. Okay. So again, thank you guys so much for coming. We can do more of these if that's something you guys want. If you're watching this in the future, I should have said this way earlier. It's an hour and a half late. Let me know in the comments of this video if you want this done again and what you want the subject matter to be, because we can schedule more specific things. But again, I just want to let you guys know as much as I possibly can about this, because like I said at the beginning, I am coming from a place of incredible privilege, but I've learned a lot along the way. So if I can help you, If I can help you, I would love to do that. And please feel free to email me. If you want to collab with me, if you want to schedule me for an event, email andrew@refashionedhippie.com. Andrew@refashionedhippie.com. If you want to collab, if you want to schedule me for an event. I think that's all we have to say. All right. Yeah. All right. Okay. I think that's it. I'm just waiting to see if there's any last minute questions. But again, we'll schedule more of these if people find them helpful. Just let me know in the actual comments to this video, not the live chat, if that's something that you want in the future, and the subject matter for that. Because like I could talk for an entire hour about doing audiobooks. But again, check it out. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate this. And yeah, we'll be back if we need to. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.